Welcome back, everyone, to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. Now, we're going to be diving into the second leg of our match in just a second, but I found a member of our audience to have a little chat with. His name is Stefan. Now, Stefan, who did you come here to support? Who's your favorite team and why?
My favorite team is Gambit Gaming, of course, because they are a very great team, and Alex Ich is a very great mid laner, I guess. Yeah, that's why.
Do you play mid yourself, and are you any good at it?
Again?
Do you play mid lane yourself?
Yeah, I play it myself, and I guess it's the best role because you can gank every lane and help your teammates.
Absolutely, but they're down now, so what do you think they have to do to get this one back in their favor, semi-final? They just lost the first map, so what do they have to do to get back into the match?
Yeah, it's my first time, and it's really great here.
Oh, at the event. You're having a lot of fun at the event?
Yeah.
So what does Gambit have to do to win here? You gonna go up there and help them?
I'm not sure what they have to do. I guess they have to play like in the second season very well and win the game.
Thank you very much, Stefan, and enjoy the rest of the game here. Now we're going back to our analyst desk because we're going to have the second leg of the semi-final coming up with CJ Entus versus Gambit.
Welcome back to the analyst desk. We're getting ready for game 2 of the first semi-final of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship here at Hanover in Germany at CeBIT. Wow, you rushed through that one pretty quickly.
That went very quick.
Gambit Gaming come off the back of a very, very big loss.
Yeah.
You know, a lane swap took place. You know, they threw Gragas down on the bottom lane to go 1v2. They put their AD carry and support in the mid lane, Wung and Madlov completely shutting down Alex Ish's Kha'Zix. Darian never found the right gear playing Jax. You know, it was a story of the entire map. And simply put, CJ Entus Frost outplayed Gambit Gaming in every single lane and in every single metric.
Yeah.
There were a few moments where Gambit did well, but they're going to need to change something drastically coming into this game.
Well, after the game, they all came backstage here. They were all huddled in the corner there. It was a little bit tense. No one wanted to go near them. They were serious, but they looked a bit surprised. They did not expect that kind of play from Frost.
I think Groove had the belt. He had the belt now. It reached that point. So they're going to have something up their sleeve. They've all talked about it. They've discussed it as a team. They've got years and years of experience in the whole grand scheme of things. These guys have been together for so long in comparison to a lot of the teams in the scene right now that if anyone's going to turn this around and come back, it's going to be them. Could this be our first 2-1 series of the playoffs? I'm hoping so, because ultimately that first game was just a little bit underwhelming.
It was very underwhelming. Do we also have to put some things into perspective here? CJ Entus Frost have already played today. They have already been on stage. They've been in a competitive environment. They've gotten warmed up, and they're in the zone, so to speak. Okay, Gambit Gaming are sitting there. They've been waiting. They've been watching, and as we've seen from Gambit Gaming, they are a little slow out the gates. They do tend to, you know, get better and better as the tournament goes on. Seeing them go 5-0 in the groups is a little different because we do tend to see them, you know, making some mistakes in that time. But at the moment, was that just a warm-up game? Was that mistakes? Was it the fact that Darian was banned out? Shen and Renekton, his go-to champs, both of them removed, and he picks Jax. I mean, what do you think of the pick?
I just want to, just before I touch on the pick, dial back to Gambit's activities this morning before they've been on stage. They've been doing sponsor activities with BenQ. They've been giving interviews, and they've been handing out bunches of roses to celebrate Women's Day, which I think was awesome, really cool and sweet. The likes of Zoe and Shops.
Let's say Happy Women's Day to every single female viewer, League of Legends player, and every single lady out there in the world from the awesome analysis desk.
Yes.
Hi, ladies.
Happy Women's Day.
We love you very much.
I'm gonna wink.
You're not on camera. You got to wait for it to come back before you can wink.
That's why I had to say it. They took it away when I was the last second.
So I was talking about the Jax pick. What do you think of it? You know, we were discussing, we're like, well, he's not exactly the first champion you think of when you think of top lane right now.
No, he's certainly fallen out of the game at the moment, as we've mentioned before, during the EU LCS qualifiers and before. Anguish, always on their Jax. Everyone's starting to play Jax, no one's surprised. Even he's stopped playing it now. We saw him playing Rumble, we saw him play Renekton. Okay, Renekton was banned, it's a little bit different here, but still, there's other options. He's just not as strong as he was. Not I don't want to say not viable. There's always going to be some situations now where some of these champions are viable because of how well everything has become balanced, but that was not the right one. I just never seemed to slot in. They wanted to camp onto that Singed. He's got a pretty good kit for that repeated kill with the help of Diamond Procs, and they did get 2, but unfortunately he died to Cloud Templar as well in return. He paid attention to that top lane, and ultimately Singed came out a lot better that despite being camped as well. So I kind of feel there'll be some better options to go with that. I mean, we saw a Kayle ban. Maybe if they can try and manufacture this somehow, Kayle could work up there against Singed. She's at range. She's going to be easier to kite. She's got that movement speed buff. She can keep herself away from the fling. She can slow him when he tries to run away. She does good damage the entire time. And then has that incredible ultimate to put on someone else, Genja, perhaps later in the fight, or Alex Ich, as he was getting focused down so much during those early engages.
Take a look at the players on screen right now. They are super, super serious. Everybody is they're just readjusting. They're getting comfortable again. They're making sure that their entire setup is, as close to home, as close to what they're used to playing as possible, because now the pressure is on. The teams are going to swap, so CJ Entus Frost will be blue side. It does mean that Gambit Gaming will have that last pick, the possibility to counter pick, however much value you give that. But, all eyes are on them right now, and there's a lot of viewers out there who keep sitting and saying, well, it's Europe's last hope. It's Europe's last hope. I know Edward has very strong feelings about being, Europe's last hope team in that regard, and we'll have to see if they can keep our hopes alive.
I'm going to call back to day one when you said something, because we're used to Gambit Gaming not really dominating the group stages typically, but always squeezing into the playoffs and then dominating when it's on the line. And you said on day one, well, that's weird. They just dominated the group stage. I wonder if that means that they're going to tank it in the playoffs.
I hope
I blame you, dude. I do.
Oh, God. You just bombed that one on me. It's all right. Oh, no, I feel terrible.
Well, it's your fault. So, if something bad does happen, we can blame, Panky.
It's all right. I'll feel a little bit better tomorrow when I'm sitting there in the crowd, in front of the main stage, and Bad Romance, private showing to about 100,000 people on stream.
There is one thing that can be said about that, though. They are a team Gambit that turns the pressure on when there's something to lose. When you've got now that this is the last chance, the last opportunity to bring your A game, and they revel under the pressure. It's the reason they do so well in all of these different tournaments, because they've been in these positions before. They've been in positions where they've almost been out of a tournament and they need to get a win, and they've done it previously. The question is, can they do it now, again, today, against CJ Entus Frost?
Well, I think they should start with a Singed ban. We're in the game, champion select. First ban is out for CJ Frost, and it's Renekton.
Not surprised by that.
Not surprising, because that's who tore them apart in Katowice.
Yeah, exactly. Darian destroyed them running that champion, and there's the KO gone too, so they can't use that strategy, they can't manufacture that something that's straight out. But there's the Singed. Thank you, Gambit.
Thank you.
There's the crowd too.
You can hear the crowd cheering as that has been banned out. Shen once again removed from CJ Entus Frost. They have mimicked their bans from the previous pick. Renekton, Kayle, Shen, even in the exact same order. This time around, Elise and Singed have been removed by Gambit Gaming. Previously, they removed Caitlyn and Urgot. Who are they going to value as the higher priority ban for this last pick?
Rumble. Is that who Shai would fall back to now that Singed is out?
It's
That's
a
not a bad
possibility.
prediction at all.
He has been first pick throughout previous situations here. But again, do you want to leave open that Urgot? Because Woong and Mad Life can do it. But yes, he's learning.
Very
put him
well
3
done.
days here. Pull him away from that other game. Put him 3 days out here. And he learned.
Now the question is here, there are a number of champions still, hotly contested. Xin Zhao is the first one that comes to mind, as is Thresh. Thresh being played both by Mad Life and by Edward over the course of the event, and it does look like they're probably going to go for this Xin first. But there's, again, this whole pool is still available, and we're going to start seeing things slightly different in this particular matchup. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Lulu being picked up as a support for one of these teams, and probably Thresh as the secondary one.
I'd expect to see Mad Life probably grabbing that Lulu again now, if Thresh is taking in these first 2 picks from Gambit Gaming, because Cloud Templar and Mad Life in that combination with that Xin Zhao Lulu was incredibly instrumental and incredibly powerful in the way they initiated those fights from the last game.
There's the Thresh.
Yep, Edward got his Thresh in the last game, and overall, to be honest, considering the hype we gave it, the Thresh Prince, and the times we've seen him play it before, it was a little bit underwhelming. So if they do pass it up this time for something else, wouldn't surprise me, but there.
I'm going to make a call before it happens. Rapid Star on Airy.
Rapid start on Ori, that's fine. But the other thing that's a little bit surprising is Alex trying the whole Kha'Zix strategy again. There is a possibility this could be mind games. They could pick it this early on and say, no, we're happy with that. We are not so worried about you and your lane switch again. But in actual fact, they're going to give it to Darien. There's a possibility it could be played in the top lane. So we'll have to see what these later picks are. I get the feeling that's just taunting.
I think it's a bit of a troll. I think it's going to be a Caitlyn Lulu lock-in possible. It is locked. Okay, well, we're taking completely.
He's saying, I'm going to show you how to play Jax,
They
dude.
said, yeah, he wants to take Jax, so we'll see how they decide to play this. Probably going to give it to Shy in that top lane, most likely. Over on the other side for Gambit, you can see Diamond Prox's summoner spells currently sitting on Ghost and Smite. So we might see another Volibear. We might see a Nasus coming out this time round, depending on how they feel that Volibear went. Volibear ganks were actually very powerful in the previous game. The problem was, because they started to fall behind in every lane, it wasn't enough to turn it around. It does look like they're going to swap it out to Nasus, though. And, of course, the power of Wither, it's going to be very powerful against every single member of CJ Entus Frost that's already been locked in.
Yeah, when you've got the likes of Xin Zhao and Jack leaping in into your team, trying to stick your carry, putting that Wither onto them, if nothing else, will stop them doing that. Or, of course, ideal target, Caitlyn, chasing her down, chasing her across the map. I'm almost certain now we're going to see that Lulu pick from Frost. She will work so well with both Jax and Xin Zhao, as long with the fact that they can put her with Caitlyn, stick her in that mid lane just like they did before, and punish Alex each. Genja picking up that misfortune again. Less than convinced, but I mean, it's not the fact that it was misfortune in the last game, it's the fact that they still tried to play it similar to how Gambit loved to play. 4 of them roam around, Genja just sits in one lane and farms and farms and farms for the first 20 minutes. However, Frost took the game to them. They were very aggressive in those first 20 minutes, and Genja couldn't stay down there. And every time he tried, they'd start a fight, he'd come to try and join in, and the fight would be over and everyone would be dead by that point. So we'll go with that idea. Rapid start looking like he's going to say that Gragas again, unless they try something completely crazy. He is on blue side this time, however, so he's not going to be able to get that early blue buff unless they swap it around, put him in the top lane, which wouldn't be completely unheard of. We saw Suno doing it in the group stages for one of the other squads. And playing some AP champions in some interesting positions. But we're also looking for that last pick.
I'm waiting to see. Now, he cycled through a number of picks. First of all, hovering over Kassadin, then going over Eve. Eve was actually used by Azubu Frost, by CJ Entus Frost at IEM Katowice. I'm going to get this right at some point. It has locked in Darius, so we're going to see a Darius versus Jax up in the top lane. It's a matchup that's going to be, fairly skill dependent. They both have very good damage. I imagine Darius should win out the very early levels, though.
It's going to depend a lot on the junglers too. We saw Cloud Temple give him a lot of attention up there early on. Diamond Rock should hopefully do the same to try and level things out again, unless they're warding it a lot. Just leaving Darius, okay, you're going to get a lot of jungle attention. Pay attention to your wards, play it very safe. You can still farm to a point under tower against Jax. You should be okay. I'm going to go and help Alex out because I honestly feel he's going to get bullied again. Really, really.
Well, the game is about to start. Get on Twitter, hashtag IEM, talk about it. Join the Raid Call channel, 1997, talk about it there. It's loading. The casters for this game, Lee, Demon Smith, and Jason Kaplan. This is going to be amazing. And I know we're going to have a lot of fun.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is a best of 3, remember. Gambit getting some interesting picks here, Jason. What have Gambit got to do to win this game?
Well, it's my first time here at CeBIT, and I've really been enjoying it so far. I mean, there's a lot of halls, a lot of things you can visit.
I'm French.
Yeah, I mean, Gambit, they are the defending champions from last year, so if they want to win it, they got to bring this game back, bring up the next one as well. They've only lost 1 map now in 2 years of the World Championships. We'll see what they can do to get back in it.
Well, we do see Nasus, of course. Nasus for Diamond Prox has been a very strong champion. Jax, Shy on Jax. This used to be the ban. This used to be something that you banned against them. So he, ironically, I completely agree with the bans that they used. That was 100%. Yeah. I completely agree with the bans they went with. Gambit have put the right bans in. The question is, how are they going to play? A Darius versus a Jax. You would think in the current setup, Darius should win that lane.
He does early on. I mean, just the magic damage that takes over time, because Jax has to get in close to, obviously, CS, so as long as you keep hitting him, he's going to bleed to death. Jax will overtake him about 7 or 8, I think even maybe 6, depending on how he plays it and how well he farms, but Darren will have that advantage, and we'll see how well he can do it, because he was camped last game so much. He was shut down completely.
And it was all about that 2 kills, that double kill for Cloud Templar in the top lane. Really, it was massive, and the fact that he has got Xin Zhao again, is that going to be a problem again?
Well, I mean, they have the Xin and the Gragas combo. That's what's really scary about it. They
And
don't
the wild growth as well.
Yeah.
So, as the audacious charges.
They don't have the Singe though. That was kind of one of the key factors about that last team, or the team fighting, was that they could fling someone out with that Gragas ultimate. But we'll see how it works for them here. I mean, we do have the Nasus Wither, so Jax or Caitlyn will be shut down. They don't have cleanse to get rid of it, so depending on who he hits it with, he's going to limit a lot of damage. But it's up to Gambit to really take this game here.
And let's also talk about the mid lane. We're going to have Alexic once again 2v1ing. Caitlyn was banned out last time because they knew how the problem was going to be in that mid lane. Woong and Mad Life, they did exactly the same against Evil Geniuses. They did exactly the same in the last game. And again, Alexic looking like he's going to be 2v1. Are we going to have a lane switch here?
I'm not too sure. I mean, we do have Darren down on the bot lane, so it looks like they're going to send a solos down there. But I mean, you're completely right. Alex, he did get shut down early on. He had a lot of CS, but like we were saying before, it's not about his CS that he usually gets. It's the kills he usually creates for his team, the opportunities. He wasn't able to do it last game. I wouldn't be surprised if he does go 1v2. Maybe Diamond's going to actually gank his lane a lot more and give him some more advantages or some more potential to pick up a couple of kills.
Well, we see a lot of wards coming out from both teams, covering out that river. Nobody going for any invades, nothing crazy coming out, and it does look like it's going to be Woong and Mad Life leashing out in that jungle. Mad Life, though, is going to come around the corner, throws out that Glitter Lance, and they realized obviously they had that ward in the Death Bush, and they are going to try and get forced away. They don't want to give the blue buff to Rapid Star, and this is actually a good use here from Gambit Gaming.
Yeah, this is a great play because they did this last game having Rapid Star with that blue buff in that solo lane 1v2.
But Edward looking, he's winding up for the hook there, but instead he's going to get caught out. There's going to be the stun trying to come through. Shice has gone with that stun to start with though. Diamond has managed to ignite it. Can he get it away? He's smited it away. Will the damage be enough? Oh, that's going to be the Glitter Lance. The power's going to come out. It's not quite going to take him down. And Rapid Star will try to pursue this one, but they have managed to escape, and they have got the steal. Diamond's probably going to go directly for his blue now.
Yeah, great job by Gambit there, just to deny that away, as Templar is actually invading the red buff, knowing that Diamond Punch is really low. He might get caught.
They're collapsing on him, and they're going to come around the side there. He's already been ignited. He's going to have the damage down. Can Genja put enough down? One more hit will come out. Here comes Diamond Prox. Edward picks up the kill and turns it on there. Good Woong now coming on. First blood for Edward. There's going to be the Piltover Peacemaker going across. Edward's taking damage from the red buff as well. They're still hanging around for this one.
And look at Gambit, they're completely different, or playing completely different this game. They don't want to give this one up. And one thing I want to look at really quickly is Darius. And Darren in that bot lane, he's left alone this entire time for himself.
He's been forced away, and you can see he's going to pick up the red there, but Alexic has gone on towards the top lane, has used the Fortitude Potion already. He's going to keep the pressure on towards Rapid Star, but that red buff will get picked up by Diamond Prox.
Yep, and going back to Darius real quick, Darren in that bottom lane, he's level 3 to a level 1 shy. He has this huge advantage. He's stronger than him pre-6 easily, but now he's going to be able to hit that 6 a little bit earlier. We're going to have to see potentially Cloud Templar come down there and babysit him a little bit just so Shy can catch up, and this is going to be a very crucial point to watch that bot lane.
Talking about level 3 to level 1s, we also have the same situation. Cloud Templar only just hitting 2 there. Diamond Prox, of course, he's going to be heading straight back. He's managed to get the wraiths as well, so he's going back around his course. Oh, Edward's managed to hook on towards Mad Life. Are they going to keep the damage down? The turret not doing the damage there. They're turning it on towards Genja, and Genja pressured there. And actually, in terms of CS, Goon Woong doing a good job.
Yeah, and he's going to keep this lane pushed up. Genja's going to miss a lot of CS here, a lot of experience in levels, experience in gold, which is really going to put him behind.
Massive at the bottom lane.
It's huge. That's because Darren's been left alone down there. I mean, still level 2 to level 4 right now. And you cannot beat a Darius, early on as a Jax unless you get some sort of gank or something. But we do have Diamond Prox heading down towards his bottom lane. Looks like they want to go for a gank on Shy.
Alexic having to jump away from that one. They were going to keep the pressure on. It's Edward that was taken very low in their mid lane, though. He's heard the pings going off. But Alexic is going to back away, and it's Alexic that's being continually pressured. How does this work out here? A Gragas versus a Kha'Zix. As it stands, you would normally give probably Alex the benefit of the doubt, since the fact that he is playing Kha'Zix and it is Alexic, but he's against Rapid Star. Rapid Star is a tremendous AP mid.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to who can manage their mana a little bit, because Rapid Star obviously has that mana regen from that W, and Alex, he's not going to be in the vicinity to pick up his own blue buff unless they want to invade and take it away. I'm going to give it to Alex early on, but obviously we should see Rapid Star. Actually, no, sorry. I'm going to give it to Rapid Star early on, but Alex should overpower him a little bit later. Once he hits level 6 and has that nice sustain, that mid turret is very low already, and we saw this happen last game with the AD support mid lane. The jungler comes in, Cloud Templar, and picks up that turret, and they rotate into another lane.
Yeah, let's see where they do pressure off to there. Hook going on towards Shy there. It does manage to keep the bleed down. Counter-Strike was followed straight back, but it's gaining up slowly. Diamond Prox coming in towards this bottom lane. Can he get a creep around there? Shy is just jumping through the potions.
He has no flash.
He's going to come around. He has no flash because he's already used it just a moment ago in that fight earlier on.
4 seconds on the apprehend.
There's the first set chug. Apprehend will be available. Cloud Templar is just off to the side. You can see him. He's on them golems ready and waiting to expect it. And you can see Darian, he's just waiting for his perfect moment to get that apprehend. Wither would come down. We also have the Thresh Prince of Armenia heading his way down in the jungle. Edward coming around, he's going to ward out that red buff, realizes, pings it straight away. They spot him, and actually he's going to move towards him. They're going to try and just bully them away from this lane. They can see it going up towards the top there. Will they be able to catch on towards anyone? Diamond Prox did show himself, but can they? It's going to be all about the hook now from Edward, and I don't think, unless he lands a spectacular hook, it would be something amazing, because Madlife coming back down to try and help out as well.
I don't think they can actually dive this just yet. Darren has to hit that level 6 before they can go for it, as we do see Genja left all alone in that mid lane right now, being pressured quite a bit. That turret most likely will be dropping right now. And in the top lane, Alex is pretty much being forced back at this point, as Rapstar now level 6. You see Edward coming in from behind on CJ Frost in this mid lane.
He's going to come around the side there. Is he going to try and go for a hook? Instead, he just tries to lash it through. Doesn't land the hook through, and the Piltover Peacemaker once again from Woong, keeping the pressure on towards Genja. That mid lane turret is very, very low. They're going to Cloud Templar, sure as hell, just as you called it, comes around towards that mid. They're trying to pressure on towards the turret. Diamond Prox is going to head his way up there. He spent a hell of a lot of time, and actually all the experience gain that he had over Templar, he actually lost because of the time he was wasting in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and not to mention Shy was able to get that flashback up in a second, and we'll have that ignite. So he should be fine in that bottom lane. Rapstar looks like he wants to go in here. He's going to slam in.
Top lane, he's going to go straight in towards it. We're going to cut away, and we do see Rapstar put that burst of damage down on Alex Sitch. As it is, we didn't catch a glimpse of it. Meanwhile, down that bottom lane, it's still Darian keeping the pressure. 50 CS to 22 of Shy.
And we'll see how long he can actually hold on to this lead. I mean, he should be able to easily beat him at this point. He could probably dive him, actually. He has that ignite up. He has that ultimate available. Obviously, Shy just hitting that level 6 will have his available, and we'll be able to do quite a bit of damage. And Darren, I think he's going to go in for this.
I think we've learned many times that you don't dive Jax. It's a simple state. Now, I'm not sure whether he's going to have quite the damage. Of course, Shy will be able to jump around. Jump around. As it stands, he also has that ignite ready. Sorry.
I was like, wait, I know that song. Which Shy is back in that bottom lane. We do see blue buff taken over for CJ Frost. They were able to control this one, and that will go over to Rapid Star. Alex is going to have a really tough time right now because of that, unless he's able to pick up some sort of blue himself. But honestly, being in the top lane, going to have a hard time for that happening. And Gambit actually was able to hold onto this mid turret, but as you see, Cloud Templar is coming around, and it looks like they want to make a push here.
Will they be able to jump across and towards Genja? Genja actually getting very close to Templar there now. The quick audacious charge would be enough. He is only at level 4 still though, so tower dive is going to be a dangerous thing. That tower very low though. Woong's going to come in. There's going to be a couple of shots in it. Diamond Prox was coming across. Bullet time goes across there. Can they get the hook on towards Woong? They do manage to get the Wither, and he does get lashed away. The ignite might be enough to finish him off. One hit from Diamond Prox will take him down, and Woong is dropped. Templar now in trouble. Madlife trying to keep them at bay, but he's going to keep pressure on towards him. We do see Genja trying to get on towards Madlife, and Diamond Prox, well, he's going to take the rates.
I think Edward's a little sad right now. He's like, come on guys, I had that with my ignite, as Diamond does take it away. But great job by Diamond, showing why Thresh is so strong with that Lantern, pulling him in, and that Wither. And Woong, that's the downside of not running that cleanse. You're not going to be able to escape them if they do hit you with that.
Looks like they're going towards the dragon here, Gambit. They're going to turn and burn. Now you can see he's going to get caught on towards that. Darian has just returned, got himself that Giant's built, and a good start towards the Warmogs. And Shy, actually, they're going to fight for this one. They're going to jump on towards Darian. It's Edward that gets himself caught away there with the explosive cask. He's going to get taken down. Rapid start taken low, though. Alex is going to get dropped in. Diamond Prox taking incredibly low. Shy might be able to get the last hit on him. Yes, he will. Turns and picks up the kill there. Edward now. Alex is in trouble. He's going to get caught down. It's a double kill for Shy. And Woong picks up another kill. And that has just thrown away every advantage that Gambit had.
Indeed. I mean, a 3-for-1 now. CJ Frost completely getting back into this game. And Shy, not to mention, he chose Jax against Darren, who played him last time, trying to show him up and like, this is how you play him. He's building a lot differently than we saw Darren build so far. The great play by Frost to know they were stronger than him at that point. They haven't gone for Dragon just yet, and I'm curious if Gambit's going to go for that to try to pick it up. As we do see, Rapid is pushing this top lane, trying to keep the pressure on.
Well, very well played, and really it was the explosive cast that kind of started off, and it's so dangerous that if Rapid Star is around with that explosive cast to start out that dragon when you don't have full vision. It was a ballsy play from Gambit, and it has backfired horribly. Diamond Prox, all the work he's done in that jungle, all the work advantages he got of taking Templar and still keeping the aggression on. We do see this top turret now just as we saw before, the turret's falling to CJ Entus Frost.
And they should be able to pick this one up. We do have Edward potentially coming in from the side, but Thresh won't really be able to offer too much help here, as Rapstar's ultimate up is in 3 seconds, so they could... Ooh, they're just going to push him out instead.
Cloud Templar's also coming around on towards Darian on this bottom lane, and now Darian, the pings go down. Shy realizes he's going to engage. The counter-strike's going to get flashed out off, but he's going to get the audacious charge. 3-talent strike will bounce him up in the air. One more jump comes across. Darian now manages to get the apprehend on towards Shy. The ignite goes down. He goes for the dunk. He's got the ignite.
Got it.
He's got it. Darian now turning away, and it's Cloud Templar backing off. Nice play from Darian.
Screw that. Don't dive at Jax. Don't dive at Darius right there, as we just saw. But still, in the meantime, Frost going to get that top turret. Going to take it 2-0 at this point. But Darius, great play by him. Dragon being started yet again. There is a ward on it, and Frost might be able to react to this.
There's nothing they can do about it. They've taken that top turret. They invested too much. 3 members in towards that top, but a turret for a Dragon. I think it's a satisfying turnaround for Frost nevertheless. And that is going to be the Dragon picked up. They're going to turn and run towards the mid turret. You can see Mad Life going to come in there, try and defend this one out. But Genja and Diamond Prox heading straight towards that turret. He should be able to clear that wave off.
And not a lot of damage actually done to any turret so far for Gambit Gaming. The bot, it's about half health. Mid, I can't even call it like a 6 down so far, but that's also been because GG's been pushed up against their own turret this entire time. And that CS difference we were talking about with Shy and Darian so far, it was originally, I think, 30 CS. Now it's approaching almost 50 at this point. And Darian doing a great job of farming, great job of that kill he picked up, and he should have that Warmog's armor picked up very soon.
Speaking of farming, I think Edward just went and took the golems at the top.
Oh, yeah, that's Edward.
It is Edward indeed. You can see the goal difference between them as supports. Why is it Edward actually has a lead on the bottom lane, and the 2 supports, the 2 AD carriers fairly close, just 300 difference, and there it is CJ Entus Frost again, taking out that bottom turret. Rapid Star's in the bush, and he's going to roll out the barrel in towards Diamond. Piltover Peacemaker comes across as well, but they do defend off that turret. He's going to throw down the Spirit Fire. It will just clear out that wave.
So what's interesting is Frost did this exact same thing last game. They put the Gragas in a 1v, well, it was 1v2 at that time, but put him in his own lane, and then they just roamed around the map doing that 3-man pressure on the mid turret, going to top, going to bottom. They're taking these turrets, but you know what? Gambit is reacting to it a lot better this time. They've been able to hold it off, and they have that gold lead right now.
Not Shy on this top lane is going to be up against the Kazakhs, and actually Jax is a pretty good fight against Kazakhs, which is why Shy will probably be quite happy to see this one. There's not a great deal of damage from Alex Ich. He has got, of course, that Brutalizer on there with the Tear of the Goddess, so he should be able to poke him down, but Shy's going to feel much more comfortable up against Alex Ich and Kazakhs here than he would do against that Darian.
I'm trying to remember correctly, but did Alex actually have Merc Treads before he bought his Brutalizer last game? I can't remember.
No idea of the exact order because, I was kind of commentating on the play-by-play.
True. Well, I mean, if so, it really shows that he has a different game this time. He has a lot better time farming. He's able to get that 1 kill, able to get the ball rolling for him. And we talked about he is like the key member for them to get the game going, as you do see him trying to be aggressive on Shy at this point. And Rapid Star will be able to pick up that blue.
Well, Edward just seeing if he can try and get a lash on towards Mad Life, throws out that lamp. Darian continuing to farm. He's up against Wound this time. Wound's got to be careful. Alex Ich, meanwhile, putting the pressure on towards Shy, jumps away from that counter-strike, did get stunned out regardless, and here comes Rapid Star. He hasn't got a tower to fall back on. The explosive cask is available, tries to use that ultimate, tries to turn aggressive. He's going to need Genja to come in and help, and he's going to get jumped on, and that explosive cask will be enough. It's Shy that picks up the kill.
And that's with Rapid Star not having that great of items at this point. That Seeker's Arm Guard just for the 80 damage he's to be up against, not to mention the Sork Shoes. And we do have Diamond coming for a gank on this bot lane. Will he be able to get it?
Diamond coming out there, but he hasn't used the Wither onto Woong. He's more just pressuring him away, trying to pick up that first turret of the game for Gambit. They will go on towards it, and they're going to have the minions on. They will be picked up. Edward tried to get the leash and throw out towards Mad Life to try and get that hook down. First turret of the game for Gambit, and Shy actually getting pressured by Genja. Genja's used Ghost here. He's going to pursue onto this one. Has managed to Make It Rain down. That will get the slowdown double up as well, but he hasn't got the damage, and that's going to be Summoners burnt by both members.
Totally worth it though for Genja. That Ghost on a ridiculously quicker cooldown than that flash, not to mention keeping that away from Shy means he doesn't have that double escape, he doesn't have that potential counter-strike into your entire team, so it gives him a really good advantage in these team fights. But the game is starting to slow down just a little bit at this point, as items are finally being completed, some major ones. A Warmock's done for Darian. We see still just that Brutalizer and that tier for Alex. Looking over at Diamond Prox, it's pretty much standard build, builds that Spirit Stone and then goes in Aegis.
Speaking of ridiculously short cooldowns, Explosive Cask is nearly available for Rapid Star, and they are going to keep pressure on towards this bottom. This will be the third turret of the game as the belches come out from Rapid Star as he chugs down them potions. Edward's going to come out. The flash comes in. That's on towards Woong. Pulls him in, throws down the box. Will get the slowdown on towards Woong. He is definitely the target. And here comes Diamond Prox on towards him. Woong getting lashed up there. Does get the ignite down. One more key from Diamond Prox will be enough. Waits for the exhaust to run out. He's just going to get one more big hit. There it is. You can see it's charged up. Boom! Headshot. Takes him down. The hook comes in from Edward. Alex Hitch comes leaping in there. Can they finish on towards Edward? Edward is going to go down. It's Cloud Templar now being the target. They're going to jump back in on towards Darian. Darian taking very low. It's Shy. He should be able to take him down. They're going to dissipate. Shy should get the jump on towards Alex Hitch. Yes, he will. He picks up a kill now. Rapid Star on towards him. He could get a double with one barrel. Darian's going to keep him at bay. He turns around. The minion should be enough on towards Rapid Star. Wither comes down. Flashes out of it.
Here comes Genja.
One more barrel. Will it be enough? Genja's going to come around. Darian's trying to bait them out there. But no, they've called it away. And Darian instead is going to run away. Has he been long enough? 15 seconds is the required time. The barrel's going to come around. The turret kill comes down. And wow, what great play from Gambit.
Amazing play out of Gambit right there to really go in on that entire fight. That Thresh Lantern yet again being used to its full extent, as Genja wasn't in that fight the entire time, except either way, Gambit held onto their own, came out ahead in that fight, and Genja was trying to push that mid turret, starting to get farmed up. He's starting to get almost to the point where he's actually really dangerous with that bullet time.
Yeah, and as it is, they see more armor coming out down. He has got the Warmugs on us ready, and he's starting to become a real issue. 4-1-1 though, Shy. And you can't doubt those hooks of Edward. They managed to land 2 key ones in that fight. As it stands, Infinity Edge nearly completed by Woong. Woong, of course, was the early man to go down there. Genja is 1v1 against him in that mid lane, and maybe looking at going aggressive. Netshot comes across. Cloud Templar making a way down that river. Oracle already picked up by Genja as well, so early Oracle's coming out from Gambit. They're trying to turn this pressure into some sort of map dominance. That bottom turret is going to just get defended out there by Darian. It was nearly gone down. See immediately Alex Hitch jumps across, get that, clean that big wave of farm out. And can they push on? Dragon is up in 5 seconds.
Oh, he gets a pull.
Shy. Hooks on. Edward goes very deep on towards him. Is he going to continue chasing this one? Apprehend will be available for Darian. He's not going to go for it.
But still, they did push him away. They should be able to secure this Dragon as well. Diamond Prox has to come down for it. And with the Oracle on Edward, they can clear any vision here. There is one pink ward available, though. Or sorry, one pink ward down at this point, so they know what's going on. The Gambit, they should be able to take this quick enough as Frost does start to close in on him.
Shy is going to be running for this one. Hasn't got the boots, so he's going to get caught out. Alex Hitch actually getting a shot there. It's Diamond Prox that plays out full defensive duties, and they come around towards that Dragon. Can Cloud Templar get in and try and get the snipe on towards? He just wants to get the smite down as much as he can. Diamond Prox, the hooks coming out from Edward. They're trying to bait out, see if they can pick up some kills from this one. Alex Hitch does manage to get rockets down, but they do back off from this one. Shy has rejoined the fight. Gambit just disengaged. They're quite happy to take the Dragon and extend their gold lead by 3,000.
Yeah, great transition by them right there. We do have Diamond finally stacking up some gold. He's sitting on 1,100 when he does back. Should have that Aegis done. And Gambit, I mean, they only have one turret at this point, but still, they're doing such an amazing job, as we do see. I think Genja's going to go ahead and pick up that Infinity Edge as he backs as well, or at least get very soon to it with the Berserker Greaves.
Oracle from Edward. He's lashing out, clearing out the wards. And there is a pink in that bush as well, and he's going to do just that. Cloud Templar thought about going for it, but nope. He doesn't want to mess with Edward.
Oh, well, he did actually went for the Bloodthirster instead. So Genja, he has that Ghost and that Cleanse. It's all up to, I have to say, it's really up to him and Alex and Darian to really maneuver around the CC that Frost has. And by CC, I mean the dissipation they have out of that Xin and Gragas ultimate. We saw in that last fight how deadly it really was, but we saw Edward come out big for his team with that nice grab. He was able to lock down Woong.
Well, the difference here is the fact that Alex Hitch has a much more sort of, I don't know, he hasn't got more items than he had before, but he seems ahead of where he was before. Yeah. And Darian is way ahead of Shy right now. I say that's actually a lie. He's not way ahead of Shy, because Shy was 4-1-1. So he's got the gold. You can see gold is actually only 200 between them. So it is pretty close between them. But as opposed to the last game where he was on Singed, he's up there. And Darian was hurting against him last time. Jax, ironically, has got exactly what he needs. So Jax is going to become a problem late game as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where actually Frost wants to make the next move, or even Gambit. We do have that bottom turret for Gambit very, very low at this point, and yet Frost stops sending their AD carry support down there to really go for it and really hammer home these turrets.
Aegis of the Legion being picked up as well by Diamond. We've seen this before. Builds that Runic Bulwark early on, and that's going to be an important item, I feel, especially with Rapid Star once he gets that ulti in there.
Yeah, it's really going to help out quite a bit. Not to mention you have Darien who can just run in there. I mean, he's so tanky. You have that Sunfire Cape built up as his next major item. There's nothing, well, there's not nothing, but Frost is really going to have a hard time dealing with him. They don't have just the upfront damage they're going to need, but Shy, I mean, 4-1, you mentioned it before, he's going to be extremely deadly as this game progresses a little bit more. Doesn't have any damage item built up just yet, but as you can see, his build has differed quite a bit from Darien last game.
So 20-minute mark about to be hit. 2-1 in turrets currently for Frost. Bottom turret on absolutely nothing for Gambit, but they have managed to defend it out a few times. They were 3-0 up, Gambit, but they managed to almost throw it excessively in at the Dragon fight, but they have worked their way back into this one very nicely. Alex Itch on Shy in that top lane, and Shy feeling aggressive. Alex has to pop his ultimate to run away from that one. Didn't want to engage, and Shy is starting to become very strong in this top lane.
Yeah, he really is. And Frost, we see Madlife actually picked up an Oracle himself, so we have Oracles on both supports at this point, and they're really trying to take control of the game by taking control of the map, by getting all the coverage they possibly can, really deny any vision as possible as you see them fighting over those wards right there. But so far, Gambit kind of winning out ahead in this as they have been able to clear a lot more wards out. We're able to pick up that last dragon, and Edward, who's 1, 2, and 4, has 4,800 gold total to his counterpart at 3,200, so he has a lot more access to wards and not to mention items.
Yeah, they've both got that Oracle out, and Edward's had it for a very long time actually. His cooldown time is nearly finished. As it is, we do see Madlife, his is fairly new. Shy just getting spotted by Alex Itch in that top lane, and there's pressure coming in towards the middle, but Gambit, as it is, both teams are just taking a breather, I think it's safe to say, so we can take a breather. Let's have a look through the items, just see what we're seeing building up here. Infinity Edge on Woong, and compared to that Bloodthirst that we saw built up earlier, actually Darien spotting out Madlife there, and now he's backing away from it, realised that Woong was coming in. You know, you don't find Madlife without that AD carry being too far away.
Very true. But in terms of items, as you mentioned before, we do have, the Phage still done for Jax, for Shy on the top, and he has a lot of gold on him to spend still. He's sitting on 1,300. We see Rapid Star with 1,600 as well, and Alex just jumping away. I mean, that's one thing he has really to his advantage. He's level 11. He has that extended leap range. And I'm really curious to see how these fights are going to go, because Diamond, with that Wither, it's going to be crucial. It's up to him to really land the Wither on the right target to set up the entire fight for them. With Woong having no cleanse, I keep harshing on it, but it's really going to shut him down or even shut Shy down.
Well, one of the things that we're seeing different with Alex Itch is the fact that he's got that BF sword already, so Bloodthirster's going to be soon. Instead, he went for the Giant Spot before and was kind of hampering himself in what sort of build to go towards. He needed that tankiness. Diamond Proc's going to be helping out. Blue Buff's going to go across to Alex Itch here, but they have to deal with Shy. He's clawing back the CS. He had that gold advantage with the fact that he's got the kills. 4-1-1. He's going to go back and buy. Let's see what he picks up. No, he's cancelled it, and it's Genja that's actually now going to try and stop him split pushing.
Yeah, Shy's done a great job getting back into this game, because we saw earlier he was down 50 CS, but he picked up that double kill, was able to pick up a couple more items on top of that. And we do have Dragon coming up in about a minute. You see Edward actually picked up another Oracle for himself just to keep that vision war going on, as Madlife still has his available for about another minute or two.
They're going to drive him. Have they got enough? They're going to throw. I think Shy's going to jump in. It's going to be Wild Growth from Madlife to try and pop him and bounce him. Edward is just off the side though, and Genja, no, they're not going to go for it. The rest of the team are wisely so, because I think Gambit could have reacted a bit quicker to that.
And he might have gotten lucky on that one too, just seeing the red buff up. He's like, oh hey, I'll take the red buff before I go back to the lane, and saved himself without even knowing. Like Gambit, 30 seconds now with Dragon. They have the timer on it. They're backing out to buy up and heal and pick up a couple of wards, as the Runic Bulwark is now finished onto Diamond Prox, and Dragon is where it's going to be at right here. As Darien, look at him. He is so beefy right now, sitting on 3,300 life with that 158 armor to pretty much an all AD team, minus Rapid Star, obviously.
Yeah, the Sunfire Cape, of course, helping him, rounding him out, as it were. He's not so much a stocky chap, he's just well built.
He's well built. He's very fit.
It's very toned as Dragon spawns and Gambit Gaming already there. Spirit Fire goes down, but we do see that CJ Entus Frost are close by. Shield getting thrown out from Edward for Diamond. They think they're being sneaky on this one, but they are not. Cloud Templar is ready and waiting to maybe come across here. They have taken it down to half hit points already, and Alex Itch is going to come across the side. They realise that the rest of the team are there. We could see a hook come out as they try and poke towards it. They've let it reset. They've realised that they are not as sneaky as they think. We do see Genja coming around the side. Bullet Time would be perfect setup now down if they can engage. Apprehend on towards Cloud Templar. Darian starts to get it down. The hook comes down on towards Cloud Templar as well. Shy jumps in. He's been built up, but Darian picks down one already.
Oh, the bullet time!
The bullet time lands across them. He does manage to get interrupted. Madlife's going to back away. It's actually Shy they're turning on towards now. He's going to try and jump away. Double flash there from CJ Entus Frost. And can see Ace in the hole coming out. That's not going to do a great deal. Genja's managed to catch him out. Rapid starts trying to get away. It's Shy they're going to pursue. He's going to run around the turrets. Can they close him down? He jumps across. He takes the turret. Will he get away from this? No, the voice waves come down. He gets hooked in, apprehended, and Darian gets the kill. They turn back to Dragon.
And I don't know if you guys saw this at home and in the audience, but Alex, he actually juked Shy so hard because he baited him in towards the top side of the bush, then jumped completely over him to get into the middle of that team fight. It was an amazing play out of him. They're going to pick up this Dragon, and they picked up a couple of kills off the back of that as well. 6-9 now in favor of Gambit. They have a 5,000 gold lead, and they're also down 1-3 in turrets. So we could see Gambit starting to group up, starting to push these turrets down and extend that lead even further. Bloodthirster finally done now for Alex, and he is pretty much, I think, about 5 to 10 minutes ahead of his build from last game.
And that one fight has turned it around for Darian, because while it was getting closer between the two top laners, he's now got a 1,200 gold difference suddenly gained, and there's another giant spell come out along with the pickaxe. So what is he building towards? What's he going to go for next?
I was thinking it was going to be a frozen mallet, actually, with that Giant's Belt, but not too sure. And then also the pickaxe could be for a Hex Drinker, you know, eventually building up.
Yep.
But I guess we'll just find out how it goes. I'm not 100% sure exactly what to go for. And the health stacking can be very dangerous if we see Woong pick up a Blade of the Rune King, but for right now, it's working out completely for him. He's soaking up so much damage for his team, allowing Alex to be that assassin, Genja just sitting back.
Thresh thought about Edward, was trying to get on towards Madlife just down in the bush there, trying to see if he can hook in towards him. We do also see actually 4 members of Gambit around that mid lane turret. They have taken their first turret of the game. This second turret looked taken very low. There's a barrel coming rolling out there. Darian might be able to get the apprehending, but he's not going to get baited in towards this one. Shy is teleporting back. He realizes that mid lane is under pressure. They're going to try and see if they can create something, as it is Edward just off the side, trying to see if he can get any lashes in there, clearing out the wards. Can he come around, get any hooks?
Edward is coming in from behind right now. This is going to be very dangerous for Frost, but luckily for them, they have great wave clearing, and if anyone of Gambit gets too close, they could be knocked into the enemy team and taken out instantly, as this turret looks like will finally drop as Frost does back away.
They do take it down. Rapid Star went aggressive there. He put the Wild Growth down. The bullet went in as well, but it's Cloud Templar that's in trouble once again. The dunk comes out. There's the bullet time, catching CJ Entus Frost entirely in their wake. Woong has to flash away from a flying Alex Ich, and it's going to be Diamond Prox that continues to chase, lands on a cat trap there, and now they're going to push on towards the turret. Have they got enough to try and take it down? One member of Frost down. They had to back away, and Gambit do give up on this one. They managed to get another turret though, and it's a 6,000 golden lead.
Well, with Templar down, not having his ultimate up, and as well as Rapid Star, they could potentially go for it because they have the ability to take without having to be harassed too much. Rapid Star with that blue buff, ult will be up in about 30 seconds. I don't think Gambit will be able to get this turret, but they'll be able to harass it down quite a bit.
Thrown out from Diamond, just knowing he's going to be able to tank out that turret. He has got the runic bulwark, so he's quite tanky right now, and the armor is pretty high on him. Edward himself is up to 91 armor, and he's slowly collecting more souls as he goes. It is down the bottom though. Darian's just going to wipe out that wave. He is getting incredibly strong right now. We saw him getting that slam dunk once again. Didn't get the finish up, but got the kill nevertheless with the ignite. And Alex Ich, he's becoming a problem as well. So Cloud Templar is the man that they've actually been focusing pretty heavily every time they started these fights.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting, but I mean, it's the closest person to him. Why not kill him when you have that damage to do it? For anyone wondering, we have Diamond Prox. He actually levels up his Spirit Fire first, goes for his Wither next, and he also has plus 200 on his Q so far. So as the game progresses on, obviously he's going to be hitting even harder. That's why he builds that straight tank. And Frost looks like they're clearing out Baron Pit here with that Oracle, but I'm not sure they can go for it. It is relatively early on in the game at this point when they're already behind.
I think they're more worried about the fact that Gambit are going to go for it. Yeah, they just went in and sweeped out the wards there. But as it is, they've left their mid lane fairly well exposed here. Gambit have 4 members coming up there. They don't have Genji with them though, because he's picking that red buff up, but they could still push on towards the turret nonetheless. And there's Frost, have managed to rotate round and protect it.
And speaking of Genji, he's had so many perfect bullet times this entire game so far. I've counted that 2 or 3 in that last one. It completely zoned out Frost, and kept them away from the turret and got them that kill. But we do have Shy potentially going in here.
He jumps straight on towards Alex Ich. Will he get baited? The apprehend comes out from Shy there, and immediately the bleed is on him as Darian keeps the poke down. The rockets coming out once again from Alex Ich, keeping them void spikes on him. All lanes are currently under pressure here. Edward continues to go around. He's just swept out the Baron pit.
Well, and we do have Diamondprox actually setting on the side. He's not spotted by a ward. He did step on a Caitlyn trap, but obviously the vision has dissipated away. He could come in from behind. He's tanking up to do it with that Ghost to pretty much just lock down Woong or lock down Shy. And it looks like they are going to steal that red buff away and then maybe go for this turret.
They're taking the red buff. Here comes Genji. He's going to have that one. This is actually, he's probably going to be given across to somebody else because he's already got one red buff. He takes the Wraiths though. Edward going around the side. Can he land the hooks? Oh, actually Madlife is very close to him. Didn't go for the hook though. But we do see the Spirit Fire getting thrown down from Edward just to keep them at bay. And Edward continues to clear out the ward. He's got a lot of gold so far from that one single Oracle.
Yeah, and what they're doing right now is so perfect. Gambit is trapping them in. They have pretty much no escape route if they come in from behind and the front at the same time with those two tanky targets, as they're just going to face tank this turret. Should be able to get it down, and Frost looking for an engage.
They're going to dive in it. It's Darian they've gone for. They're the most tankiest. Remember, the hook came out. Shy goes jumping across there. He gets caught out in the box, and Genji was taken very low. And Woong is going to get dropped by the bleed here. There's the hook on towards Shy. Alex Ich picks up the kill on them. He goes leaping across, gets another down. Can he jump for it? He's not going to follow it through. It's going to be the turret. Rapidstar now being pursued by Darian. Apprehend will be back up in a moment. You can see he's going to keep it down. No, he jumps away, and that belly dash into the Dragon Pit is going to get him safe. And now Rapidstar may be thinking, oh wait, no, he's gone for the apprehend. He keeps the bleed down on him. Darian's continuing to put the damage down. He hasn't got his ultimate to follow it off. They're going for the Baron.
And they have the time to take it. So played that last fight. I mean, we had Diamondprox tanking that turret, baiting them into a fight that they were going to, or that Frost was going to lose. Ended up taking that fight 3-0 and should be able to secure this Baron as well. That gives them a huge lead. And not to mention, they have a lot of gold to spend on each target. Darian sitting on 2,000. We have Diamond sitting on 2,000. We have Alex Ich probably going to be around 1,900. Actually, now 2,000 at this point. 4 members of them have over 2,000 gold to spend. They're going to come back even stronger and take away this blue buff away from Rapidstar to keep that ultimate on a low cooldown so he can't harass. Oh, they got him!
They've gone on towards Rapidstar. Rapidstar's going to get dropped here. Edward is going to be given the kill as well. They actually let him have that one. Wow, he said, you know, you landed the hook, you deserve it. And they're going to give it to him. They're going to chase on towards him though. Madlife gets hooked in now. You're going to see Diamondprox coming out. He's got no mana. Alex Ich jumps away from this one. Frost might be able to pick up some kills. They're going to get the ace and a hold on towards Alex Ich, but he's tanky enough to just shrug it off. And now Diamondprox is going to get dived on. The lash comes out from Edward. Shy gets beaten backwards along with the void spikes.
Great job by Edward right there to knock them back. Mob Memorious was completed for Darius, so we did see the item finally come out. But Gambit, they're going to be so strong this next engage. Cloud Templar actually sniffing around, maybe trying to stop them. See the pull to Shy.
Pull in towards the turret. Edward's taken very low though. Is he going to be locked strong enough? No! Shy takes him down, and they're going to turn on towards the turret, but they can't hang around too long because here comes Alex Ich and Darian. They have to start running.
Yes, they do. I mean, we had bolt time up for Genja, but they didn't have any way to lock them down. Dragon is currently up right now, but with Gambit picking up a lot of major items, there's no need for them to actually go for it, as Shy is kind of heading for it himself. We see the Bloodthirster Last Whisper combo finished up for Genja. We see it actually the Spirit
Alex just going to melt Woong there. He's got Darian, the Randian's Omen as well, and you can see the barrels coming through. Didn't pursue it, didn't have jump available. Shy has to back away. He was in the Dragon Pit, but Alex Ich and Darian continuing to pressure down that bottom lane. Can they catch anyone out? Templar's backing away. Right in front of the wall. He goes jumping through. He's got his ultimate running. He's going to get counter-strike, but here comes Darian around the side. Explosive cast trying to get him out, but as I mentioned, he's already picked up that Randian's Omen. It makes him so tanky, and he just has to jump away on towards Rapidstar.
And we do see Diamondprox as well. He picked up a Spirit of the Ancient Golem. I've never actually seen him get that far in his build. Gambit pushing this bottom.
Game's normally over by now.
Yeah, it usually is at this point, but we do have him pushing down that bottom tier 2 turret with the Baron on 4 members down here as Edward finally did respawn. He picked up a Locket of the Iron Solar to give him even extra, tankiness for this AoE damage that Rapidstar is going to be putting down. And Rapid without the... Oh, we see Diamond getting engaged on.
He gets the counter-strike on towards Darian and Diamondprox, but Alex Ich is there. This could be a mistake by CJ Entus. Frost Gambit is there. Genja, could he get the bullet time? They're perfectly lined up for him. And that's going to be the slam dunk. He's got 1. He's got 2.
He's got 3.
He's got 3. They're going to chase on towards Woong. Alex Ich going to need to jump on. Can he get the voice spikes? His voice spikes will be up in a moment to try and get it. Uses the ultimate, gets the slow. No! The spikes miss Woong. I don't believe it.
But still, the damage is done. Picking up those 3 kills, Alex was able to survive. They're going to get this inhibitor turret, get an inhibitor off the back of that as well, and they are looking very good to take this second game and take it to a game number 3, Demon.
Well, it does look like you mentioned, it could be game 3. As I mentioned before, Gambit Gaming, they didn't lose a single match last Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. They've already gone 1-0 down with Frost, and they were tested. Gambit have responded on this red side, and well, who'd have thought? You ban out Singed, looks like you might get a win.
Yeah, who would have thought that? I don't know, but Darren, now look at him. He's 9-1-3 at this point. He's built pretty much straight tank, and yet he's carrying the game with those dunks. That true damage.
9-1-3, that's huge.
And he's straight tank as well. I mean, well, obviously Mod Memorius is not necessarily a tank item, but still, he's really carrying his team at this point. As you see, Genja picked up a Guardian's Angel as well, which that's pretty much standard for him. He loves that GA.
He's keeping it real, I think it is.
Keeping it real.
Going back to his roots, I guess we could say. As it stands, Gambit Gaming, they have a 15,000 gold lead, so looking like we may well indeed get that game 3. What do you do as Frost? Do they try and get resilient, or do you go, right, okay, this game is clearly over, let's focus on the next one?
You know, I don't really think this game can be over. I mean, well, it obviously could be for Gambit, but Frost, they have the opportunity to get back in this game. It's all about the execution of their team fights. We have, you know, Darren and Diamond, who are extremely tanky, getting in your face, but what you need to do is, if you can catch Genja or catch Edward or Alex and burst them down, you have a huge advantage in these fights. If Darren can be exhausted or at least slow down with the attack speed reduction off the barrel of Rapid Start.
They've managed to apprehend Madlife. He's had to use his wild growth to try and beat himself away. Alex Isco's jumping in, and you can see Templar going in. He disperses them very well, but again, there is the bullet time going across. The dunk comes in from Darian. He didn't get the reset though, it wasn't quite close enough. The apprehend on Shy.
And the pull!
Pulls him back in. He gets another one. Alex Isco's leaping across his diamond that picks up the kill. The ignite running on Rapid Star. He will just about get away, but it's the Nexus turret they're working on now. They're gonna try and tank this one out. I don't think they've quite got enough. They're gonna have to back away. They need the minions. They're gonna go towards the middle inhibitor.
And right as I say, Frost can get back in this game. They pretty much lose 3 members and pretty much lose the game at that point. The inhibitors can be taken down. Baron has one off, so they don't have that regen, but with Genja with that GA available, the damage they have, they can take these turrets down. Not to mention they have 20 seconds on Wound, 20 on Shy, and 10 on Cloud Templar.
It's going to be Gambit Gaming that take game 2 here. They're going to turn down on towards the Nexus. Madlife gets jumped on, turns Alex Itch into a little pixie as he walks away, and it is going to be the Nexus going down. 20 kills to 7. It's a very one-sided turnaround from Gambit Gaming. It's exactly what they needed. It's exactly what we wanted. It's game 3 here in the semi-finals of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. We're going to go over to our analysis desk and take us through the crazy action of that game.
Gambit ties the series 1-1. That is the Gambit Gaming we expected to come out in the first game. A dominant performance. They flipped dominations there.
It's exactly what we said. Gambit Gaming backs against the wall, turn things around. They're 1 game down. They're in a do-or-die game. They come backstage. They have a little bit of that team talk. They have a bit of encouragement coming from Groove. They go back out there and they are a completely different team.
Let's be honest, from the very get-go, that was tense. You know, the opening minutes of that matchup, it was trading back and forth, and everybody was very, very timid in the opening minutes. But Darian on Darius was dominating that bottom lane. He had double the CS by about 6 minutes. He had about a 50 CS lead approaching that, 12, 14, 15 minutes, I think is what Jason was saying. And he just really stamped an authority on that lane. Once we started getting to the mid-game and some more picks and some more engagement started to happen, that was when Gambit really extended their lead. But until that moment, it was very, very tense and very, very close.
Is there one key moment or element to the game that shifted that path differently from the first game?
The first thing they did, which made it a little, gave them the chance that they didn't have in the first game, was they allowed that Caitlyn Lulu. They knew it was coming, they saw it was coming, they left it open, they picked it. And, okay, you're going to lane sweep, you're going to stick him in the mid lane to do what you did before. Or hey, what? Now, our AD carry and our spotter in the mid lane, you're not going to do quite what you did to Alex like you did in the first round. Switch it up a bit, allowed him a chance to farm this time, allowed him a chance to get a little bit stronger, and you saw what he was doing there by the end of that game, just chunking people down, leaping all over the place as if he'd been in that mid lane farming all game long as if he has before. That was the start, and then of course they gave Thresh to Edward. That is basically the format of both of these replays we're going to have for you. It's Edward making huge plays, and when Thresh came out and everyone saw his skill set, everyone, okay, so there's Lantern, you place it down, it'll pull people to you, and then you've got a hook and you can go to them. So the perfect gank would be put a Lantern down behind, have a teammate click it, pull yourself to a target, take them with you. A lot harder to do than people actually think. He makes it look easy.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's actually show you how easy he makes it look. We're going to jump into a replay right now. It's approaching 15 minutes on the clock. Gold is very, very even. Members of CJ Entus Frost are pushing this bottom lane up towards the bottom tower, and I just want to show you the Lantern and Diamond Prox's positioning because he's about to get a first-class flight into Rapid Star's face. Panky, talk us through this play.
If I remember correctly, there's a little bit of a miscommunication between Diamond and Edward to start with. Diamond had to run back to catch that, but there he was, clicked on the Lantern, came straight in. Beautiful hook lands onto Wound, the perfect target. Then the bolt goes down. Darren is 1v1 in Rapid Star. He's used that Lulu ultimate, so now Wound no longer has it. And with the power of that Wither, with Edward and Diamond Prox, they can keep chasing it. The exhaust goes out, which means he's got to hold off for a little wait. He waits for it to come in, charges up his Q. There's a little bit of a minion block going on. There it is, waits for it. Wound knows he's dead. Down he drops, but there's another hook from Edwards. All right, we've got one target. Here's another one. Alex has come in and joined them now. Genja is still not here. Frost are slowly filtering in. Cloud Templar goes in and Edward tries to take him down as quick as he can. He will get the kill ultimately, but of course he's in amongst 3 very strong members of Gambit Gaming. But here comes Shy. Shy has already had 2 kills at this point from that dragon fight that Gambit shouldn't have taken earlier on. He starts to get that AoE stun down, does hit all 3 members of Gambit, keeps Cloud Templar off for a little bit longer, gets a couple more attacks out. Finally, Templar does die. Now Shy is down chasing after Alex. He's the important target, does pick up that kill with 1 more leap and auto attack, and this is where the fun begins. Darian and Diamond Prox beautifully parrying off, kiting between Rapid Star, coming back when they've got the right abilities. Great flash from Darian, and from this on out, he hasn't taken damage in a while. It's 15 seconds. He's got to make it down, heads towards that bottom turret, and he could have got killed by Woong. Woong had his ultimate. He had that ability to come straight off the fountain, channel that and do some damage, or he would have been in range to auto attack. Instead, Woong presumed the damage had done, the timer wasn't there, he wouldn't be executed, and actually started to head up. You saw him heading down that way, the call went out that, no, we've got the kill, and he turned back up towards the mid lane again at the last second, didn't do it.
The crowd here erupted. When that XU came down after that huge team fight, and that was really the first, let's say, win for Gambit. It was, I think, a 4-for-3 trade at the end of the day, but it was only 4 kills and 2 kills. The third death wasn't executed, and Genja wasn't even there. Once he did start joining the party from 15 minutes to 30 minutes, it just seemed as though Gambit kept getting that 1 extra kill, getting that 1 extra advantage. I want to jump us into a replay here now at 29 minutes on the clock. You can see there's a 8,000 gold lead at the moment, and there was quite a long standoff here on the turret before the engagement happened. Panky, talk us through this standoff and why this fight was so important.
This is all down from Edward with his oracles, repositioning around the backside, giving that pressure to Frost. They came forward, they thought they'd grab out a target because everyone on Gambit is so tanky here. Shy makes the mistake now of leaping straight onto Genja. Yes, ideally, that's the perfect target, but he does so with no support, and Gambit are in a much better position to loop around and get onto top of it. Genja pops his cleanse, pops his ghost, runs straight through the box that Edward was pushed down, and Shy cannot chase because he's already used his leap. Diamond Prox adding insult to injury, puts a Wither down on it, and he's ridiculously slow. All the while, Darian has been under this mid turret, and basically 1v3's Mad Life, Templar, and Wound down, using the massive true damage ultimate he had, and the bleed and ignite. That immediately gave Gambit the advantage. This whole fight, which started and could have been under the tower if Frost had let Gambit initiate, they shifted it away. They took it away from that, put it into a safer place. And then ultimately, once everyone was low, Alex H1 Kha'Zix did what he does best, leaps in, uses those resets, and takes kill after kill after kill, and allowed them to take objectives.
So what does CJ Entus Frost have to do differently coming in this next game?
Not pick Jax.
I mean, I don't want to go as far as saying not pick Jax. Shy did not play a bad Jax. He previously was warranting bans on Jax. He is a very strong Jax player. He was 4-1 at one point in that. He did pick up a double kill in the Drake fight. But ultimately, it was just the plays and the calls in those team fights. I don't want to say they're uncoordinated because it is Frost. They are a very powerful team. But Gambit Gaming just cool, calm, and collected, had the better focus, had the better team play. And again, Edward was roaming all over the map there. He was, as we said, he started off in that mid lane with Genja to even things out a little bit, but he was still allowed to go all over the map after that point, in which case Caitlyn and Lulu were still in the mid lane. And that allows him to 2v1, kept Genja on his own, gave them a little bit more map control from that.
Just before we start to wrap up, I just want to add there, with regards to the comments about Jax, in both of these games, we've seen the early game, one of the top laners falling behind. In the very first matchup, it was Darren who started to get bullied around by Singed. Second game, Darian started to bully around Shy on Jax. And when we go to those mid-game team fights, in game 1, Shy was terrorizing everybody. You couldn't really kill him. He wasn't really the key instrumental focus in winning the team fights, but he was enough of a bother and enough of a nuisance to cause problems. You know, there was a lot of times they tried to shut him down and he just couldn't do it. In this game, it was very similar. I mean, Dario ended up picking up a triple kill slam dunk with that Noxian Guillotine, and as the fights went longer and longer and longer, you just seen the presence that he had. So I definitely, for game number 3, that top lane is where we're going to have to watch.
Well, game 3 is coming up shortly. It's going to be a dramatic finish to what I think is the closest and best series of the tournament so far. While you're waiting, why don't you hop on Twitter, use the hashtag IEM for everything, and answer us, what was your favorite moment of the tournament so far? Mine was just the Triss picks. I'm easy.
Reduced down a bit.
Simple as that. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be back very soon with game 3 of Gambit versus Frost.
Right now, it's a force field.